Also, just a little disclaimer, there may be a few like trigger warnings throughout this. So I just want to like warn you guys, if anything makes you uncomfortable at any point while I'm reading, please feel free to click off the video. I do not want to trigger anyone. So yeah, that is just a little disclaimer before we even get started. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy and let's just get started. Okay, chapter 1. Pip knew where they lived. Everyone in Fairview knew where they lived. Their home was like the town's own haunted house. People's footsteps quickened as they walked by, and their words strangled and died in their throats. Shrieking children would gather on their walk home from school, daring one another to run up and touch the front gate. But it wasn't haunted by ghosts, just three sad people trying to live their lives as before. A house not haunted by flickering lights or spectral falling chairs, but by dark spray-painted letters of Scum Family and stone-shattered windows. I'm so sorry about any background noise, guys. Pip had always wondered why they didn't move. Not that they had to, they hadn't done anything wrong, but she didn't know how they lived like that, how the signs found the strength to stay here in Fairview, under the weight of so many widened eyes, of the comments whispered just loud enough to be heard, of neighborly small talk never stretching into real talk anymore. It was particular cruelty that their house was so close to Fairview High School, where both Andy Bell and Sal Sign had gone, where Pip would return for her senior year in a few weeks, when the late summer sun dipped into September. Pip stopped and rested her hand on the front gate, instantly braver than half the town's kids. Her eyes traced the path to the front door. It was possible that this was a very bad idea. She had considered that. Pausing for just a second, Pip held her breath, then pushed the creaking gate and crossed the yard. She stopped at the door and knocked 3 times. Her reflection stared back at her. The long dark-haired sun bleached a lighter brown at the tips, the pale white skin, despite a week just spent in the Caribbean. The sharp, muddy green eyes braced for impact. The door opened with the clatter of a falling chain and clicking locks. Hello, he said, holding the door half open, with his hand folded over the side. Pip blinked to break her stare, but she couldn't help it. He looked so much like Sal, the Sal she knew from all those television reports and newspaper pictures. The Sal now fading from her memory. Ravi had his brother's messy black side-swept hair, thick arched eyebrows, and oaken-hued skin. Hello, he said again. Pip faltered. He'd grown even taller since she last saw him. She'd never been this close before, but now that she saw he had a dimple in his chin, just like hers. Sorry, hi. She did an awkward half wave that she immediately regretted. Hi, Ravi, she said. You don't know me. I'm Pippa Fitz, M.O.B. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. I was a few years below you at school before you left. Okay. I was just wondering if I could borrow a second of your time. Well, not only a second. We're already way past that. Maybe like a few sequential seconds if you can spare them. Oh God, this is what happened when she was nervous. Words spewed out, unchecked, and over-explained until someone stopped her. Ravi looked confused. Sorry, Pip said, recovering. I mean, I'm doing a senior capstone project at school, and what's a capstone project? It's kind of like a senior thesis you work on independently alongside normal classes. You can pick any topic you want, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to be interviewed news outlet to report on the incident. Andrea Bell, 17, was reported missing from her home in Fairview, Connecticut last Friday. She left home in her car, a white Honda Civic, with her cell phone and did not take any clothes with her. Police say her disappearance is completely out of character. Police began searching the woodland near the family home this past weekend. Andrea, known as Andy, is described as white, 5 feet 6 inches tall, with long blonde hair and blue eyes. It is thought that she was wearing dark jeans and a blue cropped sweater on the night she went missing. Other sources had more details as to when Andy was last seen alive and the time frame in which she is believed to have been abducted. Andy Bell was last seen alive by her younger sister Becca around 10:30 p.m. on April 18th, 2014. This was corroborated by the police in a press conference on Tuesday, April 22nd. Footage is taken from a security camera outside the bank on Fairview's Main Street confirms that Andy's car was seen driving away from her home at about 10:40 p.m. According to her parents, Jason and Dawn Bell, Andy was supposed to pick them up from a dinner party at 12:45 a.m. When Andy didn't show up or answer any of their phone calls, they started reaching out to her friends to see if anyone knew of her whereabouts. Jason Bell called the police to report his daughter missing at 3 a.m. My God, I don't know why I just said it like that. Saturday morning. So whatever happened to Andy Bell that night happened between 10:40 p.m. and 12:45 a.m. Here seems like a good place to type up the transcript from my interview with Angela Johnson. Transcript of interview with Angela Johnson from the Missing Persons Bureau. Hello. Hi, is this Angela Johnson? Speaking, yep. Is this Pippa? Yes, thanks so much for replying to my email. Do you mind if I record this interview for my project? Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, I've only got about 10 minutes. So, what do you want to know about missing persons? Well, I was wondering if you could talk me through what happens when someone is reported missing. What's the process and the first steps taken by the police? When someone is reported missing, the police will try to get as much detail as possible so they can identify the potential risk to the missing person, and an appropriate police response can be made. They'll ask for name, age, description, the clothes they were last seen wearing, the circumstances of their disappearance, if going missing is out of character for this person, details of any vehicle involved. Using this information, the police will determine whether this is an at-risk missing persons case, and what circumstances would make it an at-risk case. If they are vulnerable because of their age or disability, or if the behavior is out of character, which indicates they could have been exposed to harm. So if the missing person is 17 years old and is deemed out of character for her to go missing, would that be considered an at-risk case? Absolutely, when a minor is involved. So how would the police respond? Well, there would be immediate deployment of police officers to the location the person is missing from. The officers will get further information about the missing person, such as details of their friends or partners, any health conditions, financial information. In case they try to withdraw money, police will also need recent photographs and might take DNA samples in case they're needed in subsequent forensic examinations. And with consent of the homeowners, the location would be searched thoroughly to see if the missing person is concealed or hiding there and to establish whether there are any further evidential leads. So immediately the police are looking for any clues or suggestions that the missing person has been the victim of a crime. Absolutely. If the circumstances of the disappearance are suspicious, officers are instructed to document evidence early on as though they were investigating a murder. Of course, only a very small percentage of missing person cases turn into homicide cases. And what happens if nothing significant turns up after the initial home search? They'll expand the search to the immediate area. They'll question friends, neighbors, information. If it is a teenager who's missing, we can't assume the reporting parents know all their child's friends and acquaintances. Peers are good points of contact to establish other important leads, any secret boyfriends, that sort of thing. And a press strategy is usually discussed because appeals for information in the media can be very useful in these situations. So, if it's a 17-year-old girl who's gone missing, the police would contact her friends and boyfriend early on. Yes, of course, inquiries will be made because if the missing person has run away, they are likely to be hiding out with someone close to them. And at what point in a missing person's case do police assume they are looking for a body? Well, time-wise, it's not, "Oh, Pippa, I have to go. Sorry, I've been called into my meeting." "Oh, okay, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. And if you have more questions, just shoot me an email and I'll get to it when I can." "Will do. Thanks again. I found these statistics. 80% of missing people are found in the first 24 hours. 97% are found in the first week, and 99% of cases are resolved in the first year. That leaves just 1% of people who disappear are never found, and just 0.25% of all missing persons cases have a fatal outcome. So where does this leave Andy Bell? Floating incessantly somewhere between 1% and 0.25%. Even though Andy has never been found and her body never recovered, most people accept that she is dead. And why is that? Cell sign is why. Okay, chapter 2. Pip's hands hovered over the keyboard as she strained to listen to the commotion downstairs. A crash, heavy footsteps, skidding claws, and unrestrained boyish giggles. "Josh, why is the dog wearing my shirt?" Pip's dad shouted, the sound floating upstairs. Pip snort laughed as she clicked to save her capstone project log and closed her laptop. It was never quiet once her dad returned from work. Downstairs, Pip found Josh running from room to room, kitchen to hallway to living room, on repeat, cackling as he went. Close behind was Barney, the golden retriever, wearing her dad's loudest shirt, the blindingly green pattern one he'd bought during their last trip to Nigeria. The dog skidded elatedly across the polished oak in the hall, excitement whistling through his teeth. Bringing up the rear was Pip's dad in his gray Hugo Boss three-piece suit, all 6.5 feet of him charging after the dog and the boy, laughing in wild bursts. "Oh my God, I was trying to do homework," Pip said, restraining in a smile as she jumped back to avoid being mowed down. Barney stopped for a moment to headbutt her shin and then scampered off to jump on Victor and Josh as they collapsed together on the sofa. "Hello, Pickle," her dad said, patting the couch beside him. "Hi, Dad. You were so quiet I didn't even know you were home." "My Pipsicle, you are too clever to recycle a joke." She sat down beside him. Josh started exacerbating his right nostril, and Pip's dad batted his hand away. "How were your days then?" her dad asked, setting Josh off on a graphic spiel about the soccer games he'd played earlier. Pip zoned out. She already heard it all in the car when she picked Josh up from practice. She'd only been half listening, distracted by the way the replacement coach had stared at her, uncertain when she pointed out which of the 9-year-olds was hers and said, "I'm Josh's sister." She should have been used to it by now, the lingering looks while people tried to work out the logistics of her family. Victor, the tall Nigerian man, was evidently her stepfather, and Josh, her half-brother, but Pip didn't like those words, those cold technicalities. The people you love weren't calculated, subtracted, or held at arm's length across a decimal point. Victor was her dad, who'd raised her since she was 4 years old, and Josh was her annoying little brother. Her real father, the man who lent the Fitz to her name, died in a car accident when she was 10 months old, and though Pip nodded and smiled when her mom would ask whether she remembered the way her father hummed while he brushed yourself. Sometimes you do it just to make someone else smile. And how's the project going, Pip? Her dad turned to her as he unbuttoned the shirt from the dog. It's okay, she said. It's just researching at the moment. I did go to see Ravi sign this morning though. Oh, and he was busy, but he said I could go back on Friday. I wouldn't, Josh said in a cautionary tone. That's because you're a judgmental I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce that. Boy who still thinks little people live inside traffic lights. Pip looked at him. The signs haven't done anything wrong. Victor stepped in. Josh, try to imagine if everyone judged you because of something your sister had done. All Pip ever does is homework. She swung a cushion into Josh's face, and her dad held the boy's arms down as he squirmed to retaliate, tickling his ribs. As Pip watched them play fighting, she couldn't help but wonder whether the signs ever laughed like that anymore, or the bells. Maybe laughter was one of the very first things you lost after something like that. Pippa Fitz Emobi 73119 Capstone Project Log Entry 2. What happened next in the Andy Bell case is hard to piece together from the newspaper reports, so I have to fill in the gaps with guesswork and rumors until the picture becomes clearer. Hopefully, interviews with Ravi and Naomi, who was one of Sal's best friends, will help. According to what Angela said, the police would have asked for details about Andy's friends early on, presumably after taking statements from the Bell family. After some serious social media stalking, it looks like Andy's best friends were two girls named Chloe Birch and Emma Hutton. Emma Hutton, Southside, and 97 others. View 6 more comments. Emma Hutton, oh my god, Andy, stop being so gorge. Chloe Birch, I wish I didn't have to be in the pics with you. Give me your face. Andy Bell, no, winky face. Emma Hutton, Andy, let's take a nice one at the next calamity. Need new prof pic. Winky face again. Actually, no, that's just a smile. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Okay. This post was from almost 2 weeks before Andy disappeared. It looks like neither Chloe nor Emma lives in Fairview anymore, but I'll message them to see if they'll do a phone interview. Chloe and Emma did a lot on that first weekend, April 19th and 20th, to help spread the Connecticut State Police's Twitter campaign. Hashtag Find Andy. I don't think it's too big of a leap to assume that the police contacted Chloe and Emma either on the Friday night Andy went missing or the next morning. What they said to the police, I don't know. Hopefully I can find out. We do know that the police spoke to Andy's boyfriend at the time. His name was Sal Sign, and he was attending his senior year at Fairview High along with Andy. At some point on Saturday, April 19th, the police contacted him. Detective Richard Hawkins confirmed that officers had questioned Sal Sign as to his whereabouts the previous night, particularly the period of time during which it is believed Andy went missing. Friday night, Sal had been hanging out at his friend Max Hastings' house. He was with his 4 best friends, Naomi Ward, Jake Lawrence, Millie Simpson, and Max. Again, I need to check this with Naomi next week, but I think Sal told the police that he left Max's around 12:15 a.m. He walked home and his father, Mohan Sign, confirmed that Sal returned home at approximately 12:50 a.m. Note the distance between Max's house, Cortland, and Sal's Grove Place takes about 30 minutes to walk. The police confirmed Sal's alibi with his 4 friends over that weekend. Missing posters went up. House-to-house inquiries started on the Sunday. On the Monday, 100 volunteers helped the police carry out searches in the local woodland. I've seen the news footage, a whole antline of people in the trees calling her name. Later in the day, forensic teams were spotted going into the Bell residence. And on the Tuesday, everything changed. I think chronologically is the best way to consider the events of that day and those that followed, even though we, as a town lead, learned the details out of order and jumbled. wasn't at school and he wasn't at home. He wasn't answering his phone. It later came out, however, that Sal had sent a text to his father that Tuesday morning, though he was ignoring all other calls. The press would refer to this as a confession text. Tuesday evening, one of the police teams searching for Andy found a body in the woods. It was Sal. He had killed himself. The press never reported the method by which Sal committed suicide, but by the power of small town rumor, I knew, as did every other student at Fairview at the time. Sal walked into the woods near his home, took a huge dose of sleeping pills, and placed a plastic bag over his head, securing it with an elastic band around his neck. He suffocated while unconscious. At the police press conference that night, there was no mention of Sal. The police only revealed the information about security footage placing Andy driving away from her home at 10:40 p.m. On Wednesday, Andy's car was found parked on a small residential road, Monroe. It wasn't until the following Monday that a police spokeswoman revealed the following. As a result of recent intelligence and forensic information, we have strong reason to suspect that a young man named Sal Singh, age 18, was involved in Andy's abduction and murder. The evidence would have been sufficient to arrest and charge the suspect had he not died before proceedings could be initiated. Police are not looking for anyone else in relation to Andy's disappearance at this time, but our search for Andy will continue unabated. Our thoughts go out to the Bell family and our deepest sympathies for the devastation this update has caused them. There's sufficient evidence. They found Andy's phone on Sal's body. Forensic tests found traces of Andy's blood under the fingernails of his right middle and index fingers. Andy's blood was discovered in the trunk of her abandoned car. Sal's fingerprints were found around the dashboard and steering wheel, alongside prints from Andy and the rest of the Bell family. The evidence, they said, would have been enough to charge Sal, but he was dead, so there was no trial and no conviction. No defense either. In the following weeks, there were more searches of the woodland areas in and around Fairview. Searches used cadaver dogs, police divers in the river. Andy's body was never found. The Andy Bell missing persons case was administratively closed in the middle of June 2014. 18 months later, a court order was filed and Andy Bell was declared dead in absentia based on the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. Andy Bell's death certificate was issued. Despite her body never having been located, she has now been legally declared dead. After the ruling, the district attorney said the case against Sal Singh would have been based on circumstantial and forensic evidence. It is not for me to state whether or not Sal Singh killed Andy Bell. That would have been a jury's job to decide. And even though there has never been a trial, no conviction by jury, even though Sal never had the chance to defend himself, he is guilty. Not in the legal sense, but in all other ways that truly matter. When you ask people in town what happened to Andy Bell, they'll tell you without hesitation she was murdered by Sal Singh. No allegedly, no might have, no probably, no most likely. He did it. They said Sal Singh killed Andy, but I'm just not too sure. Okay, so I would read the next chapter, but it is getting kind of late. So unfortunately, I think that is going to have to be the end of tonight's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are all asleep by now. But if you're still awake, please don't forget to give this video a like. Please don't forget to comment the book emoji if you stayed to this point in the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you enjoy my content. Please don't forget to follow me on my social medias, which are always in my description box down love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video.